What's going on YouTube? Welcome in, I'm LuboATM and welcome to this week's Shrine of Secrets discussion. This is a weekly video where we discuss the Shrine of Secrets and all the perk on the shrine and whether it's worth you spending your hard-earned shards on those perks. So it's an interesting shrine this week and we'll get into the reasons for that why as we go through the perks. So as always, we'll start up here at the top. First shrine or first perk on the shrine this week is a Bill Teachable, which is Borrowed Time, which has recently went through some changes in the most recent mid-chapter update. So this is a perk that when you unhook a survivor, they gain the endurance status effect for X amount of seconds. I don't think there's a lot really to delve into this perk. Borrowed Time is just an excellent perk. It's a brilliant perk to have. It helps you protect your teammates against tunneling. It helps you protect your teammates that are coming straight off hook and that are vulnerable. And what it does is it gives you an edge against the killer, especially if you're going up against killers who hang around hooks, camp, ping pong between survivors. You're just giving them that extra chance to be able to escape a chase because they'll have that extra health state. It's an excellent perk. It's a really, really excellent perk. It's a standalone one. You don't need to pair it with anything. You don't need to synergize it with anything. It's just an all-round, really, really good perk to have. Very big fan of Borrowed Time. Next perk on the shrine is a Plague Teachable. It's Dark Devotion. So basically, you have an obsession in every trial, and once you hit your obsession with a basic attack, your terror radius transfers to the obsession for X amount of time. And it has its set radius of 32 meters, and for that entire time that they've got your terror radius, you are undetectable. So this one is an interesting one. I think it's a fun perk. I'm not going to call it a good perk. I think it's a fun perk. I think you can have a lot of fun with this perk if you're going to put it in some meme builds, or you're going to devote your build around this so you can get value. I don't think it has much standalone value unless you're going to go out your way to get use out of it. You can definitely have some fun interactions with it. I've seen a lot of people do Dark Devotion Starstruck combos recently, because obviously that affects when you pick someone up within your terror radius. So you could down someone if you can hit your obsession before you pick up, transfers your terror radius. You then pick up the survivor, and obviously the terror radius is with the survivor, so if they go over to get healed by someone, then everyone they're being healed by gets hit with the exposed stats effect. Stuff like that you can do some really fun stuff with. It is a perk that I think you need to pair with other things. I don't think you can just run Dark Devotion and expect to get value. I think you would need to at least have another perk so you can force situations. Very popular combination for Dark Devotion is Dark Devotion and Nemesis, which means you can change your obsession every time you're stunned. I think it's an interesting perk and it's a fun perk. I don't think it's an overly good perk, if that makes sense. Before moving on, I will touch on this just now. The new tome comes out as of time of recording, comes out today. And I believe, looking at DBD leaks, that two characters who are going to be showcased in that are Bill and the Plague. So these two, I'm assuming these two perks, as always, will be linked to the upcoming challenges. So just keep an eye on that when you're thinking about spending shards. The third perk's a Blight perk, which is Dragon's Grip. So after you kick a generator for the next 30 seconds, any survivor that interacts with that gem will scream and reveal their location and become exposed for 60 seconds or X amount of seconds. This again falls under the Dark Devotion category of, I think it's a fun perk. I don't think it's a particularly good perk. You can certainly synergize it with stuff so you can get value out of it. So a lot of people pair this with Pop Goes the Weasel because you're going to be going around and kicking perks anyway, or kicking gens anyway, sorry. So if you're going to get the 25% regression, someone's going to be brave and come back and try and work on it straight away. You can catch them out and get them exposed. But once you catch people out with that, they don't tend to fall for it multiple times in a match, so you might get a survivor or two with it. I don't imagine that this is going to be a perk that once people realise you're running it, they're going to continue to do stuff that allows you to get the exposed effect on them multiple times throughout the match. But it's definitely a fun perk, and again, same as Dark Devotion, you can put it in some meme builds and have some real fun with it. Especially obviously if someone touched it, sees it exposed, they tend to panic and run and hide. So it's always fun for that aspect. So again, I would clarify this as a fun perk, not a good perk. And the last perk on the shrine is Up the Ante. So this gives you a stackable luck bonus for everyone who's alive within the trial. This perk on its own is a bad perk, but I will give this perk a reprieve, shall we say? That you can pair this as part of the Kobe build, which is really really fun. So again, it probably falls under the fun category rather than the good or bad. You can pair this with Slippery Meat and Vigo's Jar of Salty Lips or other luck offerings, and you can increase your Kobe odds from like 4% to 70%. I recently did a video on it on the channel. I'll put the link in the description below for you to check that one out. So on the whole, I don't see many people running this because luck only really affects you when you're trying to unhook yourself, right? So how many people are going into the game with the thought process, oh, I'm going to try and Kobe off first hook? You're not. You're going to wait and get rescued and things like that. So on its own, it's not the best, but if you want to pair it up in Kobe build, then you can have some real fun with it. So that's us, guys. That's the shrine this week. As I said, it's an interesting one. As always, we split it down between probably what you would get for Killer and Survivor. And I think just because the tome's coming out, I would recommend getting Borrowed Time and Dark Devotion. So Borrowed Time for your Survivor, Dark Devotion for your Killer. Purely for the fact that they will get you benefit for the upcoming tome and Rift progress. If you haven't like leveled up Plague or you haven't leveled up Bill, for example. I think the best perk on this shrine by a country mile is Borrowed Time. So if you're not interested in it for the challenges and you don't have Borrowed Time, then spend your shards on Borrowed Time. I think the other ones are, again, you can have fun with them when you're building your build around them or you've got them paired with specific stuff. But I think they are very reliant on other perks to get value out of them. But Borrowed Time just isn't. Borrowed Time is just an all round great perk, and as someone who's been playing Survivor pretty much exclusively for the last 3 months, I wish more people ran Borrowed Time, because if you're going to get farmed off hook, at least with Borrowed Time you have the extra health state, so you're not going to get put straight back down. And I think with the recent change that's came for the mid chapter that removes the terror radius criteria for it, I think just makes it even better. So definitely this would be my priority for this week's shrine. So guys, that's another shrine discussion in the books. Yeah, not much else to say. Just buy Borrowed Time, basically, if you don't have it. As always, I've been LuboATM. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really helps as a new content creator to help me with directories and algorithms. I stream a couple of nights a week on Twitch over at twitch.tv/LuboATM. Always have a fixed day of streaming on a Wednesday, and then I stream one day at the weekend, which just depends on IRL things, to be honest. But come check me out over there. Everyone's always welcome. Like to talk about Dead by Daylight and rant about Dead by Daylight while I'm playing the game. So come see me over there, and until I see you guys next time, peace.